Hey guys, welcome to Think Harder Politics. We have some amazing news to share today. Andrew Yang raised over $16.5 million in the fourth quarter. And we're also going to go over the comedian who last time predicted Donald Trump's victory, said that Andrew Yang is most likely to win. And last but not least, we're going to show the math. The betting records showing Andrew Yang is the most likely winner. Let's get started. So a lot of you must have just heard about this great news. Andrew Yang hauled in over $16.5 million during the fourth quarter. And this is a 55% jump from the last quarter's haul of $10 million. This is written by Tyler from Inquisitor. And yeah, so that's really amazing. This is, I think his campaign has the biggest increase in terms of the fundraising. And right now, the only other campaign that's bringing in more money than last quarter is Bernie Sanders. Right, so this is a single day haul on December 30th, which is more than $1.3 million. And that smashed the previous record of almost $750,000 raised on November 30th. At every turn in this race, Andrew Yang continues to exceed expectations, whether it's in terms of grassroots, fundraising, making the debates, early state polling, or the ability to draw big crowds, campaign chief Nick Ryan said in a press release. What we have achieved together to date through the humanity first values of this campaign now sets us up to compete through the early state primaries, Super Tuesday, and beyond. So Yang's campaign initially set a goal of $3 million for the period of December 23rd until the end of the year. The goal was raised to $3.5 million on deadline day, and again to $4 million amid an unexpected high amount of donations. In the final 48 hours until the deadline, the campaign added more than 10,000 new donors. That's significant. So the average donation is only $30, with over 98% of donations coming in under $200, and over 75% of the total contributions coming from this group. According to the campaign, the $16.5 million will be funneled into television and digital ads, campaign infrastructure in early primary states, and on-ground staff. Those will be really, really important at this point. And yeah, this is amazing. Well, so despite the fundraising success, Yang still needs 5% or higher and 3 more DNC-approved polls to make the January debate, with the deadline looming on January 10th. And Andrew Yang actually publicly called for the DNC to commission more early state qualifying polls, noting that it has been more than 1 month, actually more than 1 month, since such polls were commissioned in early states like New Hampshire, Iowa, and Nevada. And his call has been supported by fellow candidates Tom Steyer and Cory Booker. Both of them are not on track to qualify for the coming debates. This race has changed a lot since then, and there should be more early state polls if that's required to get in the debates, Booker tweeted in response to Yang's call. And Tom Steyer also tweeted he agreed. But DNC ultimately rejected Yang's request, which prompted his supporters to trend, poll the people, and pressure DNC chair Tom Perez to reconsider. So far, only 5 people are qualified for the 7th debate: Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, Pete Buttigieg, and Amy Klobuchar. So let's take a look at this polled people. Yeah, so that was ridiculous. Andrew Yang literally wrote to the chair of DNC requesting the DNC to conduct more polls, and DNC just said, "Oh, we cannot. Okay, we do not have the financial resources to do the polls, and we have to make sure we beat Donald Trump." Come on. The only way to beat Donald Trump is to have the strongest possible candidates, right? So now you're trying to exclude Andrew Yang, the only candidate of color during the last debate. And see, even Tom Steyer said, "I agree with Andrew Yang. The rate has changed since the last early state polls over 40 days ago. The Democrats should require more early state polls to ensure the most diverse field possible and to reflect the current support of voters in the early states." That's so true. I mean, diversity, we have emphasized over and over again the importance of diversity. But now what DNC does is that they try to exclude Andrew Yang, right? And Andrew Yang even said, we can make it happen. Our campaign will pay for you to do the polls. But DNC just rejected his request. That's ridiculous. That made us question who is the biggest threat to our democracy. It's ridiculous. It has the name of Democratic National Committee is now becoming the threat to democracy. That's just totally unacceptable. In terms of fundraising, Andrew Yang's performance is actually much better than Donald Trump. Why? Well, Trump got about 46 million this quarter. But that's not a fair comparison because Trump is already the president, has been the president for over 3 years. And if we look at, for fair comparison actually, we should look at Trump's performance last time when he ran for presidency. So let's take a look at this. So from October 15th, 2015, we see that Donald Trump has got 74,000 donors, right? And he has 3.9 million in donations in the third quarter. And we know Andrew Yang had $10 million in donations in the third quarter. And Yang has over 300,000 individual donors. So both numbers beat Donald Trump by a lot. And even if we think about the fourth quarter, so this is from 2016. So quarter 4, the fundraising number is the following. So Donald Trump has 13.6 million raised during the third quarter, and it was number 6 at that time. And we know Andrew Yang has $16.5 million raised, and that's still beating Donald Trump by a lot. And you can see that at that time there are a lot of people in front of Trump, but you know who is our president now. So that's in terms of the fundraising. So Andrew Yang actually significantly outperformed Donald Trump at this comparable stage. Okay, and last but not least, let's take a look at this comedian who predicted Trump's rise. He now names Yang and Gabbard as the top contender in 2020. So let's listen to comedian Adam Carolla.
Do you see anybody on the Democratic side who has that star power, ability in order to cross the cultural divide?
At this point, I think we're looking for authenticity. Now, with Trump, we have a sort of grandiose authenticity, but it's still an authenticity. Like, you know what you're getting with Trump. I think the reason Kamala Harris is not in the race anymore is because she was inauthentic. She came across as sort of cobbled together. She would give whatever opinion she thought was popular. So I think authentic. I don't think Elizabeth Warren has it. Bernie Sanders does have it, but he's authentic, kooky authentic, which is scary. I think it would be more Tulsi Gabbard type, who has authenticity with a sort of dignity and a more middle of the road approach to politics. I think it'll be someone a little closer to the center. Maybe the time for the Hillary Clintons and the sort of career politicians, maybe the more we learn about Washington, the more that time has passed. So maybe what we're going to be looking at is two, you get what you get, sincere people, one over the top and grandiose in Donald Trump, and maybe someone on the Democratic side, an Andrew Yang type or whatever, who's a much different version, but very authentic.
Okay, so I think that's very well said. Authenticity is what people look for. Last time Trump won because he had authenticity. His message resonated with people. Build a wall, and Mexico would pay for it. But this time, like Adam just said, it's Yang and Gabbard. Well, Bernie had some authenticity, but it's different. And a lot of people perceive Bernie as too far left, socialism, and it's totally different from the new messages that Yang brings to the table. Even Bernie said to Yang that I like you. You brought a lot of good ideas to the table. Yeah, so this is the comedian who predicted Trump's victory from a long time ago. So in 2008, he accurately predicted Donald Trump's 2016 presidency. That was really impressive. I mean, Trump said from time to time that he's going to run, but nobody thought he would run and became president in 2016. And Adam also correctly analyzed the quitting of Kamala Harris as a lack of authenticity. And of course, Elizabeth Warren also lacks authenticity, right? So Trump kept calling Warren Pocahontas, right? Referring to the DNA test and her claim to be of Indian American heritage. So, yeah. So Kamala Harris and Kirsten Gillibrand, who together won more than 11.5 million votes in their last election, have been forced out of the race, while billionaires Tom Steyer and Michael Bloomberg have been allowed to buy their way in, Warren said in a fundraising email to supporters. See, a person with lack of authenticity is commenting on other people with lack of authenticity. That's kind of ridiculous. Hilarious. So, yeah, the DNC, okay, back to DNC, said that, DNC rejected Young's request to commission early states ahead of the January presidential primary, and DNC said that commissioning its own polls would call into question the national party's own partiality. The DNC has more than inclusive throughout this entire process with an expansive list of qualifying polls, including 26 polls for the December debate, and more than half of which were state polls. However, the problem is, this has not been a single poll in the past 30 to 40 days, and Andrew Yang's request was totally reasonable, but DNC turned it down, saying, "Oh, we don't have enough money, we don't have enough resources." But Andrew Yang said, "Our campaign would pay for it, so there's no excuse for you." Now, the only reason you want to reject me is because you don't want me as the lone candidate of color to be on the debate stage, because you have your favorable candidates. You have an agenda. That's just ridiculous. Alright, so we're running out of time today, so I'm going to save the math analysis about Andrew Yang being the best candidate, have the best chance of winning till next time. Okay, thank you so much for your attention. Please like and subscribe and comment below.